But for my colleague who had to depart, who was so much interested in immigration cases, he didn't ask you about the 20 immigration court judges that Trump and Musk just summarily dismissed last week. But nonetheless, Judge Timkovich, I thank you for being here today. Since he took office, Donald Trump has shown open contempt for our Constitution, the rule of law, and for the independence of our federal court system. So I have a hard time understanding how we are supposed to sit here and cordially talk about giving this man more federal judges to appoint. The blatant disregard the constitutionally based doctrine of the separation of powers by the Trump-Musk administration is the crisis that we should all be talking about. Because it's not a matter of if Trump will challenge the court's authority, it's a matter of when and how far he will go. So again, thank you, Judge Timkovich, for agreeing to appear before us. I read your testimony, and I agree that we need more judgeships. I've been sensitive to that need for many years. But our judiciary is only as good as the independence of the judges we appoint, and I cannot in good conscience advocate in favor of allowing this president to appoint individuals who have sworn fealty to him over our Constitution. Our Constitution's twin principles of separation of powers and checks and balances has worked in tandem for the last 250 years to ensure that our Constitution secures Americans' rights to impartial justice. Our nation's rule of law is grounded in the independence and impartiality of our courts and their power to say what the law is. Judge Timkovich, based on your years of experience, are you aware of any instance in which a president of the United States willfully disobeyed or resisted a lawful writ, process, order, rule, decree, or command of a federal court?
I'm here to talk about the urgent need of the judiciary for additional judge.
Well, I understand.
It wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment on any pending cases.
Well, I understand, but I've been around for 70 years, 50 of which, or 45 of which has been as a lawyer, and I've never known of a president to willfully refuse to comply with a court order, but I see it coming. Now, should that happen, a judge would theoretically be able to hold a president in contempt of court. Isn't that correct?
We have our principles of separation of powers and longstanding rules in case law that addresses that, yes.
Yeah, and if a president willfully failed or refused to comply with a court ruling, they could be held in contempt of court theoretically, but it would be up to the U.S. Marshals Service, which is a part of the Justice Department, to be the enforcement arm for the federal courts. Is that correct?
Your hypothetical would have to play itself out.
It would be the U.S. Marshals who fall under the Department of Justice who would have to carry out the contempt order. And so what would happen if the U.S. Marshals Service, under the command of the Justice Department at the direction of the president, refused to carry out a court order of contempt? What would then be the state of our democracy?
Again, I'm here on behalf of the Judicial Conference to talk about the shortage of judges that we have, and I would comment on those needs in particular.
Well, the American people would love to have heard your response to those questions, but they will get those responses from many commentators who are pondering that question and what it would mean for our democracy should that take place. And with that, I yield back.
I thank the gentleman, and I can't answer that question.